In this episode, we talk about Bihar's caste census and its implications for the state's politics. We also talk about the case where a group of Muslim men were publicly flogged in Gujarat's Kheda district. But first, we talk about the Delhi police raiding the premises of the news organization NewsClick. Hi, I'm Shashank Bhargava, and you're listening to Three Things, the Indian Express news show. On Tuesday, the Delhi Police's special cell arrested Prabir Purkayast, the founder and editor-in-chief of NewsClick, along with Amit Chakravarti, the head of its HR department. These arrests were made under the stringent Unlawful Activities Prevention Act, and after searches were conducted at more than 50 locations connected to the news portal. The police, as part of the raids, not only questioned several of its employees, but also people who were not part of the news organization's payroll and who had only contributed to it over the years. In this segment, we speak to Indian Express's Jignasa Sinha about the case against NewsClick, which actually has been under investigation since 2018. Jignasa, this is not the first time that the premises of NewsClick are being searched. Back in February 2021 as well, the Enforcement Directorate had raided its premises. Talk to us about what had actually led them to do that.
So the NewsClick has been under the scanner of several agencies for years now. Back in 2021, the ED had said that they would be searching NewsClick premises in Delhi and the houses of its directors. And they said that this was part of their probe into the foreign remittances that were received between 2018 and 2021. And they then went on and conducted raids at several residences of these journalists and directors and editors. They went on to seal the office for some time because they said they were collecting evidence, and this was followed by an income tax raid as well on the office. So both ED and income tax department were probing NewsClick premises. Obviously, the case fell through because, court intervened and had asked them that they cannot do this without any proof, and there was no further action taken. However, in August, there was this New York Times report. Their investigation stated that NewsClick has been receiving illegal funding from this US businessman named Neville Roy Singham. And the NYT report clearly states that NewsClick was among the organizations that were, funded by this network, which was clearly tied to Singham. And these organizations and this businessman, they were trying to push for like a Chinese agenda, like a Chinese propaganda through this funding.
Right. And is it essentially the same case that the Delhi police has taken action in the matter now?
Yeah, as per our sources, Delhi police is just following Enforcement Directorate's orders, and what ED had done in 2021 is what Delhi police is doing now, but with much stronger allegations against the directors. Now the Delhi police has come up with UAPA against the directors and the organization, and they're saying that the organization is clearly involved in unlawful activities. And they're saying that the company has received illegal funding from 2018 to 2021. Although the Delhi police have no proof as of yet, or they've not provided us with any proof. But yeah, that's what their allegations are.
Right, and on Tuesday, searches were conducted at 50 different places. Talk about who all have been arrested and interrogated so far.
So the Delhi police have only arrested 2 people for now. That is their founder and editor-in-chief, Prabir Purkayast, and their HR head, Amit Chakravarti. However, on Tuesday, the Delhi police went on these surprise raids across Delhi, Gurgaon, Noida, Ghaziabad and even Mumbai. And, these searches were like 7 to 8 hours long. They went on raiding several journalists, technicians, contributors were raided, they were questioned, and many of them have complained that the police seized their phones, laptops and other electronic devices. So the Delhi police has released a statement also on this, that they questioned at least 37 male suspects is what they're calling these journalists, and 9 female suspects, and police is saying that they went on to their respective places of stay, and then they got their documents, and then they got their digital devices, and this is all done in connection with the UAPA case that is registered with the special cell.
And Jignasa, do we know what kind of things these journalists were questioned about?
So the journalists have told us, and even the Delhi police sources are telling us, that these journalists were mainly asked, what kind of work did you do with the NewsClick, and what was your association with NewsClick, what were your salaries, or, about your remuneration, or did you cover the Delhi riots, did you cover farmer agitation, did you cover anti-CA protests, what were you doing during the Delhi riots? Some of the journalists were even asked if they are associated with student politics or were involved with ISA and other organizations. They were asked, several random names, and, obviously these journalists were confused, like, who are these people? And, but yeah, Delhi police asked them a lot about these communal issues, and they were asking them, if you've covered these important matters, and they were asking them about their salaries. They were asking if they would get calls from Poland, England, or Australia or other places. So yeah, that's what the police essentially asked them.
And we understand that even people who are not on NewsClick's payroll, they were also questioned, right?
So the Delhi police did not limit their searches or raids to just journalists who are working with NewsClick. They went on and essentially, let's just say, targeted everybody who had ever had a connection with NewsClick. So let's say they went on and raided cartoonist Irfan's house in Delhi. I mean, Irfan is not working with NewsClick right now, but he must have had contributed in some ways, way back in the past. But he was targeted. Then there's author Sohail Hashmi, who again is not a salaried person there. We spoke to Hashmi's lawyer, and he told us that, Hashmi does not work with NewsClick. He's not associated with the organization. Yet he was raided around 6 a.m. in the morning, in presence of his family, and then he was questioned there. Again, we spoke to Sanjay Rajoura's lawyer. Sanjay Rajoura is a stand-up comedian, and he's known for his show Aisi Taisi Democracy. And his lawyer also told us that Rajoura was raided early in the morning at a South Delhi home. And not only was he raided, the Delhi police took him without any notice to the special cell office for questioning. And he was questioned for 6 hours at least, and asked about all sorts of things, about his remuneration, about his bank account details and other personal details. And he kept telling them that I do not work with NewsClick. We just did a show sometime back, but yeah, yet he was questioned. So yeah, the Delhi police went on and targeted everybody who had ever been associated with NewsClick. They went on to target freelancers. They went on to target journalists who worked way back, 1 or 2 years back with NewsClick, such as Sumedha Pal. Pal does not work with NewsClick right now, yet she was raided.
And Jignasa, you mentioned that the Delhi police has invoked the stringent UAPA in this matter. Tell us how that affects the case and those who have been arrested.
So, till this had not been done, essentially the organization was just under scanner for, some irregularity into their finances and funds received. But now the Delhi police have brought in UAPA, and the sections are very stringent. UAPA being a stringent law, and sections such as, they are being now accused of terrorist activities, raising funds for terrorist activities. They're being accused of conspiracy, unlawful activities. They are being accused of promoting enmity between groups. They're being accused of criminal conspiracy. So the UAPA does change the case a bit, because now the Delhi police is alleging not only did the organization receive illegal funds, they received it from sources which are questionable in nature, and they are essentially saying that the organization is involved in terrorist activities, and they are trying to create rift between communities, and all the money that was received by the organization was used to produce news articles which were pushing for the Chinese propaganda. And now that the director and the HR head have been arrested, they have now been sent to 7 days police custody. And in the 7 days, police can question them about anything, like their personal details, their bank details, what funds were received. So yeah, with UAPA, the Delhi police has a lot of power over the organization, and they can say that, based on whatever little or major investigation they have done, they can say that these people were involved in terrorism, and they can question them about anything.
And next we talk about the Bihar Caste Census. On Monday, the Bihar government published the results of its caste-based survey, revealing that the extremely backward classes, or EBCs, constitute the largest social group in the state, followed by the other backward classes, or OBCs. Together, they make up 63% of the state's population, while only 15% of the population falls into the unreserved general category.
Bihar has a big OBC block, and now that number is out, we know that it is 63%. Even before the census, we had sense that it could be somewhere around 50 to 5%. We are now surprised that it has gone up to 63%.
That's Indian Express's Santosh Singh, who reports on Bihar for the paper. And he says that this survey, which started in 2022, also included members of the OBCs and EBCs who belong to the minority Muslim community. After the results of the survey were published, leaders from Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar's party, Janata Dal United, and leaders from Lalu Prasad Yadav's Rashtriya Janata Dal hailed the survey as historic. Here's what RJD leader Manoj Kumar Jha had to say about it.
It's a historic moment. And I'm very happy. I'm very happy that this is 2nd October. I'm very happy that this is 2nd October. Social justice is at a churning phase now. You look at the results.
When we spoke to Santosh, he said that the main reason for conducting this survey was the socialist politics of two prominent state leaders, Lalu Prasad Yadav and Nitish Kumar.
Lalu Prasad and Nitish Kumar have been biggest socialist leaders, biggest backward leaders for 32 years. They have been in power for 32 years now in Bihar. So they have been a strong force, and all because of the OBC-driven politics. Yet it's true that Nitish Kumar had been very much part of the NDA, but at the core of his politics was OBC politics, ABC politics. He also did Mahadalit politics, which is nothing but the rechristening of the scheduled caste politics. It was just a conglomeration of 21 scheduled castes, which he called Mahadalits, and declared some welfare schemes for them.
He says this is the reason why these two leaders had been enjoying the loyalty of these voter blocs for decades. However, a rupture occurred in 2014 with the arrival of the BJP under Narendra Modi's leadership.
His socialist politics had been exhausted of a sound electoral plank, more so after rise of Prime Minister Narendra Modi since 2014. Especially we could see that in Lok Sabha election, in 2019 election, it was very much evident because they won 39 of 40 seats and by huge margins. On many seats, 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 2 lakh margin. That suggested that a bigger chunk of EBC blocks voted in favor of NDA.
Which meant that the BJP had managed to divide the votes of the backward classes in Bihar. And they did so by introducing a unique blend of politics in the state, combining Hindutva and welfarism. And so it is in this context that this caste-based survey becomes a significant factor in the state. According to Santosh, it might help the JDU and RJD to refocus on their socialist and identity-based politics, thus revitalizing their popularity among people and winning back the support of the EBC voters.
Since Nitish Kumar does OBC politics, so does Lalu. So together they can also play to the gallery. They can go to the election and they have already said it's a historic day and we are going to, Lalu Prasad said, we are going to fulfill the dream of Jayaprakash Narayan of total revolution. All that. So now they are in 1931 caste census, the OBC number was 52. Now they can say now it's a quantum jump of 11%. So they can pitch for increased OBC quota. That's number one. And since the EBC number is bigger, they can ask for more, a quota within quota. So this politics of caste, OBC, EBC, this will play. And now they have asked a question to BJP. They will wait for the answer, how it unfolds in coming days.
And this question that Santosh mentions here is about BJP's stance on a caste survey, because the ruling party at the center has staunchly opposed a nationwide caste-based census. And here it's important to note that the BJP Bihar unit supported the caste census, despite the party's national leaders expressing their opposition. In fact, following the publication of the results, Union Minister Giriraj Singh stated that the Nitish Kumar government was attempting to sow confusion among people.
जातीय जनगणना बिहार की जनता में गरीबों में भरम फैलाने के सिवा कुछ नहीं है. इन्हें तो रिपोर्ट.
Now, despite criticism from the BJP, Santosh says that this survey has bolstered RJD and JDU strengthening their demand for conducting a nationwide caste census. After the publication of the results, RJD leader Lalu Prasad Yadav stated that a nationwide caste census would ultimately benefit the backward classes.
ये पूरा देश भर में होना चाहिए, इससे पूरे देश के गरीबों को, दलितों को, सबको लाभ होगा और सबको वाजिब हक मिलेगा. अभी तक हक नहीं मिलता था जाते.
Now, besides all this, Santosh says that this survey could also prove beneficial to the opposition coalition now called India, which RJD and JDU are a part of. According to him, this is because the bloc so far did not have a robust political or an electoral plan to stand on.
They had been attacking NDA, but they were not offering any alternative. What is their blueprint, alternative plan or idea? With this census, now at least they have got a plank. They have got an electoral plank for that matter. And we know that even Congress would be under center because its government in Karnataka had not declared the caste census result. Even KCR would be, though he is not part of India bloc or any bloc, he would be in the pressure because Telangana has done the similar survey, but the reports are not out. But yet India bloc, now they can try to pressurize BJP for a nationwide caste census and just take a leaf out of Nitish Kumar's book and just put pressure on Narendra Modi to conduct a nationwide caste census just so that this plank could be kept afloat in the run-up to the election.
And Santosh also says that the survey and the decision to make its result public so close to the 2024 Lok Sabha elections says a lot about Nitish Kumar's political acumen.
Nitish Kumar had been lying low for some time. All his advisors have left him one by one. So with this one stroke, I think he seems to have got his political standing back. Even now, RJD would be under pressure because they are on the same page on caste census. Of course, RJD will have to support that. So with this stroke, they have asked a question to state BJP. He asked a question to India bloc, which has not given him any good post. So India bloc might have some reasons to value Nitish Kumar more than it did before. So with one stroke, he has asked so many questions. I think so far it is advantage Nitish Kumar.
And in the end, we talk about Gujarat. Yesterday, the Gujarat High Court charged 4 policemen under the Contempt of Courts Act. These are the same policemen who were captured in a video last year publicly flogging a group of Muslim men. Exactly a year ago, during the Navratri celebration, a group of men from the minority community were arrested for pelting stones at a Garba event which took place in Gujarat's Kheda district. Shortly after their arrest, a video went viral showing a policeman in plain clothes beating the detained men with a stick. When we spoke to Indian Express's Aditi Raja immediately after the incident took place, she told us what had transpired.
The video shows plainclothes men allegedly beating up the accused named in the FIR. They have been pinned to the electricity pole, and you can see one officer who has holstered a gun around him beating these men with a baton. Another officer is seen removing their wallets and mobile phones from their pocket before they were beaten. There are a couple of other officers who are holding them pinned to the electricity pole through one of the spaces in the pillar. And you can see the others are ushering the other accused in the waiting and then sending them off to the police van.
Now, as we mentioned earlier, this flogging incident took place during a Navaratri celebration. However, it was provoked by an incident of stone pelting at a Garba celebration. Aditi told us about it.
So this incident has occurred in Unthela village of Matar Taluka in Kheda district. The Sarpanch of the village, Indravadan Patel, had a vow when he won the Panchayat polls in December 2021 that he would perform this Ashtami Puja at the Tulja Bhavani temple in the village and organize one night's Garba as part of the Ashtami Puja. So this was one night's Garba being organized at the Tulja Bhavani temple to mark Ashtami. And according to the police, the Garba was almost coming to an end and to be followed by an Aarti when the stone pelting began. According to police officials, before the stone pelting happened, members of the minority community apparently came up and told the Garba players to stop playing the Garba and stop playing the DJ music. And thereafter, immediately there were stones flying, and 7 or 8 of the players and people who had organized the Garba were injured. Some have suffered fractures. 2 of them are with serious injuries. And one of the 2 policemen who were also assaulted in the riot has sustained critical injuries on his private parts because he was allegedly beaten up very badly.
Now, within a day of this incident, the video emerged, sparking significant outrage from both the opposition and the minority community.
Especially from the minority MLAs of the opposition. Imran Khedawala, Gayasuddin Sheikh have written letters to the DGP Gujarat Police seeking action against the officers. But on the other hand, the villagers of Undela are jubilant about it. So when we visited Undela, the villagers said that they were not happy because the police had beaten up some men, but they were happy because it was justice finally. They claim that every time there is a event that they have to hold at the chalk, there is a contention, there are stones flying, there are minor clashes. Although this was the biggest clash that the village has seen in a long time, and perhaps the first FIR in a very, very long time. So therefore, for them, the police flogging the men before taking them away was, more a vindication of what they call has been their trauma from the intimidation they have been receiving. As you can even see in the video, the villagers were cheering, they were chanting Bharat Mata Ki Jai, they were egging on, the police officers to punish them, and the police was making the accused say sorry to the crowd. Some of the villagers also believe that the police action actually happened because one of the GRD Jawans who was attacked during the riot is critically injured, and it was also anger because 2 officers on duty were attacked, one of whom is critical.
Aditi told us that the officers who were seen in the video belong to the Kheda district's local crime branch.
The man you see in plainclothes flogging the accused is PI Ashok Parmar. He heads the LCB, local crime branch of Kheda district. There is another officer who is seen pulling out mobile phones and wallets from the pockets of the accused before they are beaten up by Parmar. He is PSI DD Kumawat, Police Sub-Inspector DD Kumawat. And then there are other subordinate officers from the LCB team who are seen holding the accused pinned to the electricity pole at the chalk. There are other officers who are, sending the men one by one to the electricity pole. And after they are flogged, you can see one constable in the uniform ushering them into the Kheda police van.
Later, a case was filed against all the policemen visible in the video. And yesterday, after almost exactly a year, the High Court accused 4 of them, including Inspector A.V. Parmar and Sub-Inspector D.B. Kumawat. However, the bench dismissed the proceedings against the other 11 police officers. Back when the incident took place, Aditi told us that incidents of clashing intentions during Garba celebrations are becoming more frequent in Gujarat.
So, Garba celebrations in Gujarat are a sensitive subject. It has turned sensitive, especially over the last few years when commercial Garba organizers in cities like Vadodara, Surat perhaps, started issuing RFID cards to participants who were pre-registered. This was when there was a lot of noise around love jihad and how people belonging to other religions, especially Muslims, would enter Garba grounds and start playing Garba. So there is a lot of polarization that has anyway happened around the festivals. Now you don't really see Muslims participating in Garbas in Gujarat. And what also happens is that even in general, whether it is Garba or whether it is Ganesh Chaturthi, there are miscreants. We don't know whether it is exactly done by one particular community or not. But the police say that there are antisocial elements, miscreants, pelting stones, inciting violence. So stone pelting and rioting during festivals does happen very regularly. Even in the recent past, there has been an incident in Savli Taluka, Vadodara district. There has been an incident in Surat. So the polarization is there, and I think when you go onto the ground, like in the case of Undhela village, you will always find people telling you stories about how this has been happening forever, and it has reached a point where no community can tolerate it anymore. So from the history that many of these mixed neighborhoods have, there is a lot of pent up frustration, so minor things trigger clashes. For example, traffic collisions, the motorcycle just brushing past somebody's leg, and then if you realize that they belong to another community, it results in a riot. It has happened in Vadodara city. So triggers are as small as just spark, but it's enough to bring mobs onto the road.
You were listening to Three Things by the Indian Express. Today's show was written and produced by me, Shashank Bhargava, and was edited and mixed by Suresh Pawar. If you like the show, then do subscribe to us wherever you get your podcasts. You can also recommend the show to someone you think will like it, share it with a friend or someone in your family. It's the best way for people to get to know about us. You can tweet us at Express Podcasts and write to us at podcasts@indianexpress.com.